Hey, this is Dante checking in. I wanted to start doing videos every day, but sometimes I get really tied up and busy. But that's no excuse. I want to keep you all updated on my daily progress of me building my personal brand, and also for me to keep chasing the highest version of myself personally. And from that, me being fruitful of producing and providing to the world at large through myself, through my company that I will birth, my company Utopia, and the other businesses under Utopia. So just a refresher, everything starts with me, my personal brand, the highest version of myself, and then the birth of Utopia, and then growth, Binding Genesis, Taviance, Wits, those products that I'm creating all day, my all day podcast and agency that I will create to start representing NFL football players and other professional athletes. But everything starts with me. But I wanted to really update everybody with what I'm currently going through, because I am completely honest and genuine and authentic with myself. And I'm not going to highlight, only the milestones that I achieve, the great things that I do. I also want to share with the struggles and the obstacles that life is throwing at me, the stuff that I am dealing with as I am pursuing and chasing the highest version of myself and building my companies and businesses. So just recently, yesterday, I'm thinking, everything is going well. I'm getting ahead. If those who don't know, I live in Los Angeles, and so my mailbox key, about a few months ago, it broke, and so I used the the office's mailbox key. And so I go and I knock on the leasing manager's door, and I ask her if I can use the mailbox key. And then so she goes, yeah. She said, but I also wanted to talk to you about something. And she says that, sorry, my bad, I'm driving. But she goes, I wanted to talk to you about something. She said, I was knocking on your door yesterday, and I wanted to tell you that I cannot accept your rent anymore because until this whole balance is paid off. And so, long story short, like it's just a substantial balance that I owe, or that I currently owe now, because since I took over the apartment for my sister, that during COVID, we weren't paying any of these. I was running in and out of that apartment, during the COVID years. I was staying with my girlfriend at the time, and my ex-girlfriend at the time. And so, but me and her broke up. So I started staying with them towards like April 2020. My sister was running in and out of the apartment. She had moved to New York. And so my brother was permanently there throughout the whole time. But long story short, through a certain amount of time, rent wasn't being paid because of COVID. And so, my brother, he dropped about $4,000 on the apartment. And so also, but there was still more money that needed to be paid. It's according to the leasing manager, which I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. According to the leasing manager, she says that $17,000 was owed. $15,000 was only put down by the COVID relief package. The COVID relief package only took care of $15,000 of the $17,000 that was due. And then she tells me that after that, when that balance was not paid, she was saying that it was adding late fees. It was adding late fees since July, at least since July of 2022. Just continues to adding late fees, and that's something that we're completely oblivious about. We don't know anything about that, and so but that's just how they get you, And so it's stressful and it's frustrating, because I'm like, well, why weren't you telling me this before? And she was just like, well, we've been taught. We talked a couple months ago. We talked last year around October, and did this. But the late fees, that's something that should be we didn't know, you had already given a whole year of late fees prior to October. So that's just to me, in my opinion, that's just not fair. It's not right, but it's whatever. Life ain't fair. So I'm not trying to make any excuses, but it's a irritating and frustrating situation, because also I've dealt with sketchy stuff with this apartment complex. One time they told me I didn't pay my rent, and what I do, I always record myself, because I like documenting. I like journaling. I like writing things down and stuff about what I do, so I can go back and I reflect on it, and also so I can, because I'm all about self evaluating myself and stuff. So that's just something that I practice sometimes. Is most of the time is things I'm doing. Let me record and let me document, because I don't want any hiccups. And lo and behold, that's something what happened. So I explained that to her. I was just like, like this always been this. I said there's been some sketchy stuff going on with this apartment complex. One time you guys said I didn't pay rent, and as soon as when I showed proof of me actually recording myself paying rent, I sent that to the leasing manager, and she goes, "Oh, okay, you guys did pay the rent." And so it's just stupid stuff like that. And then so the lady was like, "Well, I'm the leasing manager. I was here. I've been here for about 2 years now, so I'm not aware of that." So I mean, to me, it's like it wasn't if it was a leasing manager or not, it was somebody who works here. I showed that to. So okay, what probably wasn't a leasing manager, but it was a leasing agent. But the problem is that this I want to share this situation with you guys, because again, I'm not a perfect human being, and I'm not going to just be like a regular YouTuber content creator and just highlight all the great things that's going on in my life, and just being and trying to sell you this dream, be like, oh, I'm driving fancy cars, I'm going on trips. That's stuff that not everybody can relate to. All that does is just gives people like a dosage of dopamine shots. To me, I don't like that. That's one of the reasons why I never like social media. And social media has pretty much ruined like all my relationships with all my ex-girlfriends. All my ex-girlfriends, they were just addicted to social media. They would just stay on there. Like my last girlfriend, she would just be, before she goes to bed, she would just be on her phone, just swiping through TikTok. Just swiping through TikTok for hours right before she goes to bed. And then when she wakes up, she would do this. She go use the restroom, be on her phone. She would swipe through TikTok. And she has two jobs, and she one of her other jobs was being a security guard. And she worked security overnight shift. And she tells me she wants to be a PM. And so like I'm like, that's what's up. Being a project manager, like let's study that. I'll study that with you. Like I'm a curious person. I love learning. So I was like, that's what's up. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? And then so she like 6 months after she tells me she wants to be a PM, she buys the book. And then not only does she buys the book, but I've never seen her open that book, not one time. And then it got to the point when she started because I called her out on it. It got to the point she started bringing the book with her to her job, because like I will stay with her overnight with her security job, and she would bring the book. She'll have her book bag, like she'll pack it up like she's really going to study overnight. What she does is, that book stays in that book bag. The book bag stays in the back seat. I'm in the driver's seat. Sometimes I'll be in the passenger seat if we're in her security car. And what she does is she flops back. She got her phone. All I hear is just different random TikTok videos and her hand going like this. I kid you not. No lie. And so like that's the thing, like, so like I never really wanted to do what I'm doing now. If I was going to do it, it was just going to be for my eyes and me purposely. And so I am not just going to be your regular like content creator, your regular YouTuber. I don't know if I am a YouTuber or whatever, because these videos are not only going on YouTube, they're going to go on other platforms as well. And I also write additional to these videos, because that's my bread and butter. I love writing. I really, really love writing. It's extremely fulfilling. But like I said, I wanted to share this with you all. I am going to keep you updated with this. This happened yesterday, and the lady, she gave me a 3-day notice. She said she's going to start giving 3-day notices, so she's giving me only 3 days to figure it out. In total we owe $5,000, but she said that's without my rent. So she was just like, that's without my April rent. So she said that because she was going to give me my April rent back. It's April 18th right now. So she said that, if you count the April rent, it will go down to like 3,900 and something. But then I talked her down into at least me paying 75% of that. So it went down to like 29 something. And so, so I need to come up with 29, pretty much $3,000 in the next 3 days. And I got to figure it out. And I've already taken a lot of money out of my investments for taking this, because I love football. I'm obsessed with football. I already took money out of my investments for this football course with this agency called Sports Management Worldwide, and then I went to the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. That like cost me another like $2,500, and then I took some money out of my investments to pay for my taxes, my CPA, and that's another video I would do. But I'm going to be completely transparent. I wasn't paying my tax. I wasn't filing for taxes since probably like 2017. I probably filed for taxes twice. And so that's something that I'm taking care of, because I'm becoming more heavily involved into money, businesses, and accounting, economics, and stuff like that. I just recently became involved and more obsessed with that. Originally, I didn't care about making money. I didn't care about business. I didn't care about any of that. I originally had a dream of being an actor when I was a kid, and then I went from acting to wanting to be a player in the NFL, and then I went back to wanting to pursue acting. But that's all I cared about. It was just football, or if it wasn't football, going to NFL, it was just being a working actor. But I didn't care about making the money or any of that. I was like, I'm an artist. I was like, I care about just the art and the craft and all that. But then I became a little bit more wiser, and then I started thinking like, you need to be an entrepreneur. You need to start adding value to yourself. You need to start developing skills. And so I went to school. Long story short, I'm going to school for economics. I'm studying economics. I did production accounting, so I studied accounting, and I am studying how to create wealth, and I am studying, and I am understanding, and I am learning on how to create riches and earn riches and create capital for myself. And so this is just a roadblock. This is just something that, I was just telling my friend the other day. I was just like, if it's not one thing, it's another, but this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. This is what growth is all about. Growth is growing pains. I'm going to face some obstacles, and I want to share this because I am going to figure this out. I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to share on what I did. And hopefully it possibly can help somebody else who's dealing with a certain situation, because I know in time, when I become my goal, like I tell everybody, I want to be a trillionaire, and I'm going to do that. I don't know if I may die without becoming a trillionaire, but I would at least at least become a billionaire, establish billions at least before I die. And so I want these videos for people to be able to go back to, and they can relate. Because sometimes you may not be able to. Somebody's a billionaire and they're telling you stuff and advice and everything. You probably cannot relate to that. They're probably speaking from different experiences and their own perspective, their own situation. And somebody who's in my situation right now, I may not be able to. I can hear it for inspiration, and I can get some type of nuggets from it, but it's probably not going to be able to help me as much as what I'm doing now. And what I'm doing now, you can look at my current situation. You can look at what I'm doing, where I'm at. And then you can fast forward 10, 15 years from now, or rewind 10, 15 years from now, prior to me becoming a successful, famous actor or whatever, billionaire, like have my own businesses and corporations and all that stuff, but you can be able to relate to what I'm saying, because you can go back to these videos of where I first started. And that's the goal, man. I want people to be able to get, I want to create more wealth in people. I want to help people make as much money as they possibly can. I want people to be highly developed, high quality people. It's time out for so many people dealing with money and financial issues when they don't have to, because they haven't been taught about these things. The schools don't really teach you. Our parents doesn't really know, so they can't really teach us. I want to change that. I want more people to be economical literate, financial literate. I want people to be more digital literate. I want people to be able to understand how to create more wealth, entrepreneurship, the importance of entrepreneurship, the importance of capitalists, the importance of a capitalist society, the importance of freedom. I want people to be able to understand that more. And those are one of my goals. And this is Dante Sapiance, and thank you for your time. If you watch this whole video, please like and subscribe. And hey, man, we're going to keep growing.